Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to the honorable judges, teacher, friends and my fellow friends. Today, on this fine day, I would like to present a public speech about the advantage and disadvantage of bringing handphone to school. It is an issue where it could be implemented soon. Before it takes place, let's look the pros and cons of this matter. Ladies and gentlemen, handphone, mobile phone and tablet are becoming common in almost everywhere in our society. Even now, small children have it too. Today, it has become a must-have item to everyone. Even now, if I ask the audience whether they have a handphone, probably almost all will say yes. Isn't? Well, as for now, this question excludes the student because students are still prohibited to bring handphone. Most probably, all the audience in the hall will say yes. But then, it is a good idea to allow students to bring handphone to school. In very story, there are two sides of contracting idea. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity to let the audience know the advantage and disadvantage of allowing students to bring handphone to school. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start my speech by starting the first advantage of students bring phone to school, that is to make communication easier, especially between parents and their children. It will allow them to communicate with each other at any time. In the past, parents often never knew where their children were until they came home. With handphone, parents can check up on their kids and arrange transportation or really important information if necessary at any time they want. Like for example, the children can tell their parents what are their activities and thus make a parents less worries about the children whereabouts. Secondly, handphones can be invaluable tool in emergency situation. For instance, if a student is severely injured or there is on crisis situation, the phone can allow students to contact authorities and anyone for help. Thirdly, with the technology available, it can help the student to learn more easy access to the internet. Student can share information of the internet easily, but it could also by the other way around. Students use the internet to find fun instead of study. Now, I will focus on the disadvantage of students bring phone to the school. Firstly, it is about thief issues. With more and more attractive phone available, there are good chance for phone being snatched or thieved. This happens because some people might not be able to afford it. Thus, the only way for them to have it is by steal it. Students also can make extra money by stealing the handphone and sell it. Moreover, students can at the time be clumsy when keeping their things. We all know that once the item is gone, it will be gone forever. The price of handphone is not cheap, and when the thief issues arise, it can cause a lot of other trouble. Secondly, the phone can cause distraction in lesson. sometimes students that did shut off their phone and suddenly get a phone call. Will can disturb the lesson with so many students in the class. They can also play games in hiding during the class or lesson. With so many students in the class, teacher could overlook these students. This is one of the instances of student misuse the purpose of handphone. By bringing handphone to school also with the hinder purpose to study more, as they are much more prefer to play games than they read the book. They only use the privilege given for their own joy only. Thus, the passion for learning for many students will be decreasing, and this is bad because study is important in life. Only with more knowledge we could be more developed. But if this young generation do not like to study, it will hinder our progress to be more successful. Ladies and gentlemen, I have lined out the pros and cons of allowing students to bring handphone to school. Now it is up to us. Only with more knowledge we could be more developed. But if this young generation do not like to study, it will hinder our progress to be more successful. Ladies and gentlemen, I have lined out the pros and cons of allowing students to bring handphone to school. Now it is up to us decide and choose what is the best decision on this issue. Well then, I arrive at the end of my speech, and thus I would like to thank all of lending our ears. Therefore, I end my speech with thank you very much and goodbye. Thank you.